Hey everybody, I'm back with another live concert review. Last night in Kansas City at the Riot Room was the Destruction Tour. Along with them was Krisiun and Exmortus, and then our date had two local openers, Hellevate and Meatshank. The show got started, I think, a little late. The website listed the door and the show for starting at 7, but it didn't actually start until about 8. Because of that, it kind of seemed that at least Ex Mortis and Krisiun had to cut just a little bit of their set, like one or maybe two songs. Um, but Destruction, it seemed like they put on a pretty normal length set. The first band of the night was Meatshank, who I've seen a lot before, but I haven't seen them in a while. And although I haven't seen them in a while, this time they had two guitar players, which I think normally they only have one. I'm pretty sure. That said, this was easily the best time I've seen Meatshank. Meatshank, like it's easy when you first hear them to say, "Oh, this is just kind of a death thrash band," but they really do have a whole lot of different musical genres in their sound. Like more than once, I was listening to them play, and I'm like, this kind of sounds like an Iron Maiden kind of riff or a sound or something like that. So they're kind of hard to pin down to one specific genre. I was really impressed. Um, they have improved a whole lot. Like they've always been a good band, but they've improved a whole lot since I've first seen them. Very impressive performance. Second band, another local named Hellevate. Again, they're kind of another band that you can't really shoehorn into one genre. They're more of a thrash band, but it, again, does have like little death metal overtones and stuff there. Hellevate is very technical, but still a bit melodic in that sense. Not slow at all. They just kind of go at you. Hellevate, it did seem like they're a little bit disjointed at times. But I think their drummer was having a little bit of technical difficulties, but it all came through for a pretty good performance. Not the best I've seen Hellevate, but still a really good performance from them. They seem like if they could use I think they've used to do some black metal influence before. If they could bring that back, I think they'd be outstanding. A little bit before I get to the touring bands, this was kind of a weird show. I'm assuming Destruction has something written down on this tour that wherever they play, they have to have a barricade. The Riot Room is like capacity 240, and all it is just a little tiny stage, like a foot and a half off the ground. This is the first time I've ever seen a barricade, and it was a makeshift barricade. It was like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like the cabinets that you see at shows with like the wheels on them. Like you'd put a speaker in and then put the thing over it. And it's just a bunch of those flipped upside down lining in front of the stage. So some of the bands were like standing on top of it and performing. There was no crowd surfing or anything like that. And there wasn't even any mosh pits until Krisiun. So I'm not, I mean, I get that Destruction, like, they probably need a barricade, or just like when I see Creator, like the other German thrash band, of course they have a barricade, and Overkill has a barricade, and all these other bands. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but it definitely was not needed. They even had them lined up, had a big piece of wood in front of it to kind of keep them in place, and they drilled it into the floor, which I'm like, wow, they're kind of going all out to make sure this barricade is good, but it was fine. Anyway, the first touring band was Ex Mortis. They're from California. They've been here a couple times before, usually with Vector, and then they were here a couple months ago with Dark Tranquillity. This is my first time seeing them. Very good. I know I've seen some people write them off as kind of like lumping them in with the new thrash bands like Skeleton Witch and Havoc and stuff like that. But I don't think they deserve to be in there like in a negative sense. They're more technical death and thrash metal. I mean, some of their songs are just like soloing all the way through. They did a technical thrash death metal take on a Beethoven's piece that was just basically like 5 minutes of a straight solo. It was crazy. They had some crazy stage antics, playing each other's guitars and stuff like that. Really, really enjoyable. And it never really, in all their soloing, never was like, oh man, this is kind of like wankery or stuff like that. And it really never strayed that far into it. So, yeah, it was pretty good. A new up and coming band. I hope they get a lot bigger because they definitely deserve it. The main support for Destruction was Krisiun from Brazil. This is my second time seeing Krisiun. First time was opening for Nile and Immolation a couple years ago. As for a three-piece, they can definitely get really, really heavy. Super heavy death metal. I don't know, just those Brazilian bands are just a little bit heavier than some of their other counterparts. Yeah, I mean, not much else to say. Krisiun is a solid death metal band. With just 3 instruments, it's just mind-blowing how heavy they could get. They're really appreciative, and not a whole lot else to say, but good performance from them. Took about a half hour for Destruction to set up. They had smoke machines and then these giant like spotlights shooting up in front of the drums and everything like that, which I thought was kind of crazy for such a small place like the Riot Room, but definitely added to their performance. It was pretty entertaining. Destruction, of course, is part of the big four of German thrash metal, along with Creator, Sodom, and Tankard. Destruction, I would say, is kind of like maybe the Anthrax of that big four, as in they're a little bit more faster, a little bit more fun. They don't take themselves as seriously, anything like that. Destruction, very brutal. The bass was very, very heavy, thanks to Schmier. He's a great bass player. Great tone on his guitar, on his bass, and everything like that. The rest of the band was just fine too. They did a lot of old songs. I thought Nailed to the Cross was great. That's always fun to sing along with. And then other stuff like Eternal Band, Death Trap. And then they ended with Curse the Gods. Good classic thrash metal songs. Everybody really liked. Like I said, there was a pretty good pit going the entire time. It was a little bit late. They posted a set list on the stage. And the set list, like, it was written a little bit big. But even then, it still stretched two whole pages. I was like, oh my god, they're going to do like 22 songs. They ended up doing about 15 or 16, which is normal, what I'd expect. They played for over an hour. Not a whole lot of break in between songs or anything like that. But just pure thrash metal without stopping. For the entire show, the Riot Room sounded great. I was really close to the stage, right next to a speaker, and even then, nothing really seemed that blown out or anything like that. Really pretty good crowd. For a Tuesday night, I would say it was about like a medium-sized attendance for a Kansas City show. Definitely not super duper packed like when I saw Deicide there, but definitely a pretty good sized crowd, especially for a Tuesday. Great tour. Those 3 bands definitely kill it live. If you have a chance to go see them, I definitely recommend it. But yeah, it was a pretty good show. Alright, tonight I'm actually seeing Goat Whore and 1349 do an off date from the Metal Alliance tour, so I'll definitely be back tomorrow with a review of that. Alright, take care, bye!